You know that phrase, love me or hate me, but you can't ignore me? I think that is what Karan Johar embodies in today's Bollywood. I mean, who doesn't have an opinion about Karan Johar? People love him, people hate him, but one thing they can't do is to ignore him. So when a Karan Johar movie, after 7 long years, you have to go and watch it. Hey guys, this is Aisha from Orange Wall TV, and today I'm reviewing Rocky Aur Rani Kii Prem Kahaani. It's interesting how in the last 25 years Karan has built a kind of, a brand of movie making. It's a whole genre into itself, but at the same time his movies have changed, his messaging has changed, and his filmmaking has evolved as well. But in the 2.5 decades of Karan Johar filmmaking, what hasn't changed is that any Karan Johar movie is all about loving your family. Quick synopsis without giving any spoilers. I think trailer में इतना तो हमें पता चल ही गया है कि Rocky is a flashy Punjabi munda and Rani is a very elegant, a very traditionally Bengali television journalist. My first thought, to be honest, when I saw that Rocky is this typical Punjabi guy and Rani, is from Bengal with very, very different families, was that it may just be, a Two States 2.0, or, it also was giving me like a little bit of a Badrinath ki Dulhaniya feel. But I was proved wrong, because this movie is like none of the other movies. It borrows a little bit from different movies, some of them Dharma movies and Karan Johar movies, but again it is completely different and completely stands on its own 2 feet. So what's the basic conflict in this movie? Rocky and Rani fall for each other, but Rocky's dadi and the rest of his family and Rani's family as well, to a very large extent, are against the match because they feel that the two people come from such different worlds and that the families are so different. Like Shabana Azmi, who has played Rani's dadi beautifully, says at one point कि किसी भी रिश्ते में ड्राइविंग सीट, स्टीयरिंग व्हील चाहे दो इंडिविजुअल्स के पास हो, पर फैमिली हमेशा बैक सीट ड्राइविंग करती है. एंड दैट्स द प्रेमिस कि ये दोनों इंडिविजुअल्स एक दूसरे से इतना मुख्तलिफ हैं, उनकी फैमिलीज एक दूसरे से इतना डिफरेंट हैं. How would they settle with each other's families, and how would they, in a way, get the families to agree and be happy with this match? Alia Bhatt or Rani's genius idea in this instance is that they switch. So Rocky goes to Rani's family for 3 months, and Rani goes and lives with Rocky's family for 3 months. And if they can survive this, well, then they have a match made. Firstly, I'll talk about Ranveer Singh's Rocky. I mean, the way, it's very easy to say that, oh, Ranveer Singh is playing an over-the-top person, and that's just Ranveer Singh himself, and that it may be easy to play that. But I think, like, and I've spoken to Ranveer once. I interviewed him for Ye Jawani Hai Diwani, and he said that sometimes when you're playing characters closest to yourself, your real self, those are the most difficult ones to play. But having said that, Ranveer in this movie is not just an OTT person. There are lots of scenes where you see the more vulnerable side of him. He's not afraid to own up to his mistakes. I was recently at an event at the House of Lords where Karan Johar was being, recognized for his 25 years in Indian cinema, and he was talking about how. Yes, some of his movies have been problematic in the past, have been a bit misogynistic and all of that. Although at that time, we also loved those movies, and as he said, he did know better, and I think we also didn't really know much better. So I think like that evolution shines through in Ranveer Singh's character. And I feel like, as Karan was saying about himself, that is what he has written for Rocky as well, that he grew up with a certain mindset and a certain mentality because he didn't know any better. It wasn't something that he knew any different. So it would be unfair to judge him on the basis of that. There is a lot of messaging in the film, more so in the second half than the first half, but I feel like I did enjoy the second half more because that is where more of the meat is, that's where more of the drama is. I feel like Karan Johar has talked about a lot of different themes, whether that is patriarchy, gender roles, कुछ जगह पे obviously it's a bit exaggerated as well, because I think either it's the fact that it is made for cinema, so don't expect like a Shojit Sircar type subtlety in this movie. Of course it is a Karan Johar movie, so subtlety is not a word that we would really associate with a Karan Johar movie. I think what I loved in this movie was the scale of the movie. I'll come to that in a second. The acting, it's whether it's Ranveer playing Rocky or Rani played by Alia Bhatt, or Dharmendra Saab, or Shabana Azmi, or Jaya Bachchan. So acting wise, it's really flawless. No movie is perfect, so even in this one I have some qualms. Shuru mein we're introduced to Rani as a very driven career woman, and then suddenly like 15 minutes into that movie, that whole thing is just like that one thing that was such a rock of her personality is suddenly like not even relevant anymore. I'll also be honest, there is that big love story, like parallel love story going on between Rani's Dadi and Rocky's Dada. I felt it was a bit misplaced in this movie. I felt like it could have been a wonderful movie by itself, but I felt like that whole track was, I just didn't see how it sits in this movie, or how what the resolution for that is. For example, Rani's Dadi's lost her husband, but Rocky's Dada is very much married. So I don't understand, like if they had made it into a way where Rocky's Dada had left Jayaji's character and then pursued that, like that would have made more sense for me. But this thing that's always in the background, but it's not fully resolved, but keeps coming back. As much as I love Dharmendra's acting and Shabana Azmi's acting, and as much as I enjoyed the introduction of that story in 1978, all that nostalgia, all those old Bollywood songs, but it didn't quite sit well with me. So I'd like to know your thoughts. Like, what did you think of that track? I think also for a movie that is called Rocky Aur Rani Kii Prem Kahaani, the Prem Kahaani of Rocky and Rani was a little bit lacking for me in that sense. I mean, from a Karan Johar movie, when I watch one, I want a love story to be the be all and end all of everything, and I felt like that was a little bit missing in this movie. I was more invested in the families than I was in Rocky and Rani. And also I feel like Jaya Bachchan's character, well, Jaya Bachchan was literally just playing Mr. Raichand from K3G, because I would have liked some more context to feel why she is the way she is. I mean, make her a little bit more human, give her all her flaws, but also just show why is she behaving like this, because she's behaving terribly, but I don't really understand why. The music of the movie is one of its highlights. As with any Karan Johar movie, there are the dance numbers, there are the sad numbers, there are the falling in love numbers, beautifully shot, aesthetically shot. The dance is just stunning. The wardrobe as well, like what Manish has done for Alia's saris. Oh my god, like I am so sure that I will be seeing everyone wearing one version or the other of those saris. The makeup, Mickey Contractor again, Alia looks beautiful in the movie. It's, I always wonder, like, people who do makeup for movies, it's just such a different ballgame altogether, because your face is literally like magnified, and for it to still look flawless, the people who do the lighting in movies and the makeup, in this instance Mickey Contractor, like hats off. Very special mention of Alia Bhatt or like Rani's nose pin as well. I thought that was such a stunning touch. Giving a shout out to Shanu Sharma here, who first introduced us to this this kind of nose pin and made it cool. I think overall, definitely I would say go watch the movie. It is an experience. There are bits that you may not like or may not relate to or may not agree with, but I think overall it is a movie that, if you are a Bollywood fan, this is quintessentially Bollywood. at its finest. There is drama, there is love, there is music, there is dancing. It is unabashedly Bollywood. It doesn't shy away from its own grandeur. It doesn't shy away from its own over-the-topness. So from my side, definitely worth a watch. And go watch it. Let us know what you think. Also, like, share, and subscribe to Orange Wall. Share this video.